welcome to another episode here at Heat Seeker Outdoors. This week we're going on a continuation of our fishing video of last week. We went out specifically trying to target bluegill and red ear, and about mid-morning the bite just kind of turned off for us a little bit, and I looked in my tackle box and realized I had a crankbait sitting in there, and just kind of on a whim, we really didn't have the setup or anything set up to really do kind of trolling for that day, but really just put a crankbait on a pole and chucked it out the back of the boat and just seeing what would hit and what kind of luck we'd have. So hope you enjoyed this episode here at Heat Seeker Outdoors.
Love it. That's good. God bless. Ouch.
Look at that. My favorite fish in the world to catch right there. Absolutely favorite. We just kind of on a whim threw a crankbait out, let it troll a little bit. My dad and I do that a lot on some big lakes. Just on a whim, see if it would work. And sure enough, here we are, got crappie in the hand in the first 2 minutes. So as we work back along this lake, we'll keep doing it and see what we come up with. So pretty awesome. I love catching crappie. It's my favorite fish to catch. Well, we're just doing a little dig in here. That's where we're kind of checking the lake out. I barely got that thing hooked. We better get it moved. Yep. And just kind of doing a little trolling with this jig here, and yep, finally came off something my dad taught me, like I said, and just finding the right depth with these jigs and just dragging them at the right speed across, off these ledges. You can see across along this lake, this thing's just a drop off, and there's a ledge right there, and we're cruising about 15-20 foot off that ledge, and you get through a school of them, and if you're trolling a lot of lines, normally by state law you can do 3 apiece, and me and my dad always did 6. You get in a tree of them crappie like that doing this trolling, and just all 6 lines go at the same time, and you just start reeling them in. It's a ton of fun. If you've never went out and done some trolling before, give it a try. You'll have a blast doing it. Crappie. Back trolling. Caught us a little bass. Little fillet in size. I don't know how well you can see the end of that pole there. But once you know you've got a good troll and you've got a good speed and things are going right, the end of that pole will just bounce just a little bit, real consistent.
Right now, we just came off of where Josh, we've caught several crappie in this little hole right here. So all we're doing is we're circling around. We're gonna hit that point again, and we're just trolling through there. Basically, I've got the trolling motor set on a constant, and I'm just steering it with the hot foot on the boat and trying to pull it through. We've got our Humminbird fish finder set up, and we're trolling through like, I don't know, anywhere from 10 to 20 feet of water. And so when we hit those trees like Josh was talking about, of those crappie, then basically we're just, you know, kind of running through them, and we're circling around now, gonna run back through it. So
Oh, there's a fish. Yeah, that's a good one.
big old crappie, man.
Hop off. Stay in the boat. Tell you what, you can get out crappie jigging, trolling on them. It is the most fun you'll have once you get a nice setup. We've, like I said, me and my dad's been out and we've caught, you know, our 2-man limit in a matter of a couple of hours doing some trolling. It's a ton of fun. It's a lot of action. I mean, so just like that, if we'd had several poles out in the water, we probably went through a tree of them, and we, you know, 4 or 5 poles probably would have went down, and we just been reeling like crazy trying to catch up. So, crappie trolling, give it a try. It's a blast. Something really important, especially when you're trolling these crappie, is you can't dog them real hard with your pole, because the mouths are so soft, they're so tender, you'll just kind of rip right through them and you won't catch any that way. So you they hit so hard on these crankbaits that they already ripped their mouth. Excuse me. They ripped their mouth already. So and so you can't dog them real hard. Just got to reel real easy when you're reeling them in. Most of the time, once you're trolling them with the crankbait, they'll float to the top and you can almost pull them in flat across the water. So it's something to keep in mind when you are trolling for these fish, to just go easy when you're reeling them in. That's something you don't see every day. I just kind of had this crankbait sitting in the water as we was figuring stuff out. Bam, my line hit. Nice gill. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode here at Seeker Outdoors. Just to follow up on our video a little bit, like I said in the beginning, I just grabbed a crankbait out of the tackle box and went at it. I'm not exactly sure what depth that crankbait ran at, but just to kind of follow up with you guys a little on it, is there's several different crankbaits when you go out and you start looking for trolling and trolling ideas. I know I use a lot, and they run like 200, 300, 400, 500, 700, 800, and that determines your depth of how deep you want to run, from 2 to 3 foot all the way down to 15 to 18 foot. And that's depending on where the fish are stacked up at in your lake. There's 100 different ways you can do it. How I was always taught is we had a trolling rig off the back of our boat. We was able to go with 4 poles off the back of our boat, and we went 2 on each side. So you really upped your chances of catching that tree of fish on them vertical, as they go vertical up and down when them crappie stack up that way. That's just one of many ways to do trolling. I know there's a lot of skid plates out there. You could go and hook several lines and get way outside your boat and do a lot of trolling out that side as well, on both sides. Especially when you go up to like the Great Lakes area, they're big on trolling for walleye that way. Some other things you might want to try is getting several different variations and colors of the crankbait that you like. So what we've always done is try to get color of each and each depth. That way, if we do get into them and we find out what they're hitting on, we have 2 or 3 of each color. That way we can try to rig up the poles and get as much as we can out of our fishing trip for that day. Well, we hope you learned a little bit about trolling this week. If you've never done it, go out and give it a try. Like I said several times, it is a ton of fun, and you'll enjoy it to death once you really get into it. It's addicting, and you'll get hooked on it. Stay with us, and we hope you enjoyed this episode of Heat Seeker Outdoors.